Welcome back. I'm Marcus.
And I'm, oh shit.
Who are you?
I'm Amy.
Hello, Amy.
Hi.
This is only your 5th episode.
I know. I know, I'm sorry. Can we start over?
Okay.
Start over. I was about to say, oh God. All right. See, that's what I need. I need his name tag.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry. My brain is just like, okay.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Hey, welcome back. We have some exciting things to talk about today. I'm Marcus,
And I'm Amy.
and this is Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Hey, let's get into it. Let's talk about after you do the meet and greet. Sometimes we integrate the meet and greet and the first date, but a lot of times those are separated. What do you find that you do more meet and greets, or do you just go on a full-blown first date from the get-go?
I would say it normally starts out as a meet and greet and it lasts several hours. So I would honestly say that most of the time I try to do a meet and greet, but I can't even think of one that just was a meet and greet. It usually ended up just being like a full-blown date. And if you consider a full-blown date past, 20, 30 minutes.
Well, are you guys just sitting there talking over drinks?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you actually doing something like...
Oh, so sometimes we'll just sit, well, you know me, I kind of get lost in conversation.
You do.
And it's really easy to just keep going. And then, I don't know. And then I'll be like, okay, well, it's lovely meeting you. And normally, and not to toot my own horn, they'll be like, well, you want to go grab a bite to eat? Do you want to go do something? Golf, shopping, whatever they want. I don't know. It's different for every person, but normally meet and greet turns into several hours. I mean, think about with you. How long did we sit in that?
Yeah.
In the coffee shop and then in your car.
Right.
So that lasted like 4 hours.
It did carry on, but we were enjoying ourselves and we got lost in the conversation and it worked.
Yeah, it did. It really did. Yeah.
I find that I like to meet them for a drink or for coffee.
Yeah.
And then
you like to see their face.
see their face, see the chemistry. Because sometimes instantly when a person walks up, this is not going to work.
Absolutely.
Like almost instantly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Who hasn't had a couple of those? You're just like, oh man.
Right? So you don't want to plan a full date or full evening with somebody that you instantly know. I got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we've all had that. We talked about that on the last episode, I believe. Yeah, horror stories like that. Oof, catfish. No, thank you.
Now I had an interesting date. We met at a pretty popular little go-to spot in center of town, and they had a nice little bar in the back. And she was the most annoying, in-your-face person on the first date I'd ever met, and I was literally ready to walk out of there.
Like, what was she doing? Like, what
She
do you
was
mean
just-
in your face?
She was very strong about her opinions, very opinionated.
Oh,
Didn't like a lot of things that I was talking about. I couldn't make a connection. But we drank.
you drank
And we drank.
liquid courage.
And we drank. And all of a sudden, she looked better and better. And I think we ended back up at her place.
Oh my gosh! No, you didn't.
Yes.
Oh, that is horrible. Why would you do that?
Oh,
That's
it was good.
Oh gosh, what is wrong with you?
Well, she ended up.
It's okay.
She ended up being quite entertaining at her place and very memorable. But then I thought, oh, this girl's not that bad. So I contacted her again when we were sober, and I think we went out one other time. And no, it was bad. It was, it just didn't work. Unfortunately, we both got so inebriated that we enjoyed each other's company for that night. But
Again?
no, for the first time.
Just the one time. I was like, you did it twice?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
I think even one of my friends met her, and they're like, dude,
she's got to go.
what's up with this girl?
Oh, really?
like-
That's the worst.
Yeah, but when she's drunk, she's a lot of fun.
Of course. Everybody's a lot of fun when they're super drunk. It's like, that's what I can't stand. So, like there are some guys that they don't try to get me drunk. Usually I would say, most of the guys that I go out with, it's usually like 1 or 2 drinks. I don't think that I've ever really gotten plastered on like a first date with someone, just because I'm like you. I don't want to make that horrible mistake. That does not sound appealing to me. Waking up, I don't want it. I don't want to stay over at their place because the next morning awkward. But I won't do that with anyone really. I'm not into like bar scenes. I'm not into just like hooking up like that anymore. Maybe when I was in my younger 20s, I think I attempted that a couple of times and it just was very unappealing. But some people like it. I get it. It gets wild. It gets crazy. Everyone's guard gets down. It gets hot. It gets heavy. Everyone, just you could do things that.
I just remembered another first meeting that I had that turned into one of my crazy what the fuck stories.
Oh my God, they're all crazy what the fuck stories.
So I met this girl on the site and we decided to have sushi. And she shows up and she's, I think she was probably in her 30s and she had 2 or 3 kids. Cute. Very, she was in a little black dress. So cute. And we sat down in the restaurant and we were sitting across from each other and she's like, no, here, come sit beside me, Aww. So I'm like, oh, I like this girl. Yeah. So we kind of cuddled up.
Tugging on those heartstrings.
Right. So that kind of broke the ice and made the date feel a little better, a little less tenseful. I don't actually get too nervous on dates anyway.
You've been on enough.
Yeah. But it's always nice to break the ice.
Yeah.
And
she did that. She did that for you.
Yeah. And you just never know how close you want to get to somebody, how touchy-feely you want to get with somebody, how you want to keep your distance. Sometimes you're trying to figure all that out. And very quickly, we were sitting next to each other, kind of cozied up, and had a great time. Mm-hmm. Drinks were great. Food was great. She's like, do you live close by here? Do you want to go over to your place and hang out? I'm like, yeah, well, let's go hang out.
Let's go hang out.
The night's going well.
Woohoo.
So I said, do you want to just follow me? Or sometimes I call him a car. I'll get him a car to the restaurant or wherever we meet. I'll call an Uber or Lyft or something.
That's so weird to me. Like as a girl, as a female, I would be like, okay, if something were to go wrong, I always have to have an escape route. Like I always have one foot out the door. Yeah, that's a good idea,
actually.
Think about that. Think about the safety of just anyone. Like even if you're a guy and you're in another town or whatever, I would have a rental car. Just because, in my mind, you never know what you're going to come across. And right. But I'm always looking to run. I'm a runner.
Well, I always offer.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe 30%, 40% actually accept the offer, but most say, no, I'll just meet you there.
Yeah, you just want to trap them.
Well, a lot of times they don't want you to know where they live, which is advisable.
Well, but don't you, like if you get them a car,
if I get them a car, that's the thing. If I get them a car, they have to have a pickup spot.
I was going to say they're not really thinking that through, I don't feel.
Well, no, the ones that meet you there say, no, I'll take my own car there. They're the ones that usually don't want you to know where they live in the beginning, which is safety. I get it.
Yeah.
Because if I order a car, I need an address.
Yeah.
So, but she met me there at the restaurant, and I said, well, do you want to just follow me home? I don't live far from here. And she goes, no, I'll ride with you. I'm like, what about your car? She goes, oh, no, I have a driver. He's sitting outside, and
what?
I'll just tell him to wait. Like,
she has a driver?
Yeah. I said, I'm confused. What do you mean you have a driver? She goes, oh, it's my best friend. He's gay, but we're best friends.
Oh,
and,
my gosh.
he drove me here.
That's a pimp.
He
got pimped.
He wasn't
That was a pimp.
No, let me finish the story.
Okay, all right.
He was definitely not a pimp.
That had to be a pimp. Like, if she has a driver, like, come on. Okay, let's go.
So, I never thought of it that way, but I'm pretty darn sure it wasn't a pimp.
Think about it.
No, wait until you hear the rest of the story.
Okay.
So we go over to my place, And she asked if I have some Titos, which I did, some vodka. And we started drinking and drinking more. She was a tiny thing and could not really hold her liquor and started getting a little crazy. Anyway, we go in my bedroom. We're starting to mess around, haven't got too far yet. And her phone rings. And she goes, oh, hold on. I think this is my friend, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember his name, the driver. We'll just call him the driver. She goes, hey, he's right outside. Can he come in and use your restroom? Wait, what? Right outside the house? How did he even know where I live? She goes, oh, he has tracking on my phone. He always knows where I'm at all times. Okay, now I'm looking at your face.
Oh my gosh, what are you thinking? Like, what? Okay, you have to continue the story because that is a pimp. That is a straight up pimp. What is wrong with you? Oh my God. Keep going.
Oh,
I'm
geez.
dying over here. I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard. Okay, go.
So I'm like, can he use the restroom somewhere else? I said, fine, he can come in and use my restroom.
What?
So he comes in. Hey, and the guy comes in. He's this skinny white guy, gay as the day is long. Mm-hmm. He seemed okay. Didn't seem like a pimp to me. I didn't get that vibe out of him. Anyway, she said he's my best friend. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he goes to the bathroom, and we're sitting there, and he comes out of the bathroom, and she starts talking to him. And like he's trying to walk out of the room to go back to the car, and she's just talking to him. And then she goes, come here. And we're both I'm laying on the bed. She's kind of sitting on the bed, half naked. And she's, come here. And he gets closer. And then she starts pulling him into the bed. Here, join us. Come here. Oh I'm sitting there going, okay, hold on.
She's trying to get like a threesome there.
You can do it.
There's other ways, I guess.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
She's pretty slick, I guess. I don't know why you didn't think that was a pimp in the beginning.
That never actually crossed my mind, but
I know. I just can't.
Anyway, I was sitting there thinking,
slick
hey,
move on her part.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm fine with it, but it's not my scene, right? I'm kind of heterosexual woman.
You don't have
man.
to. You don't have to touch a guy.
I know, but I didn't want him in my bed with me. It was just so awkward. It was on our first date.
Why didn't he use your guest bathroom? Is what I'm not wondering. Like, you have multiple bathrooms in your house. Like, why did you even let him into your bedroom?
I don't know. You do crazy things when you've got a half-naked girl in your room and a lot of drinks. So anyway, they start talking, and she goes, hey, can I go smoke a cigarette with my driver?
So-and-so.
I know, I can't remember his name. Can we go out in the garage? And I said, sure, just go out there. So I'm laying there going, this is turning into an absolute disaster. I'm thinking, and I'm not turned on anymore. I'm not aroused. It's just not a good situation for me. So they're out there for like 20 minutes smoking.
I would have locked the doors
and just talking.
Bye, guys.
So she finally comes back in the bedroom and she starts trying to make out with me. And I'm just immediately, and I wasn't aroused, and she noticed that, and she goes, fine, if you're not into this, I'm just leaving. And so she just storms out of the room and yells at him, and they go outside and drive away. Oh, but she left her phone in the room. So I'm thinking,
oh my God.
I'm thinking,
I would have just thrown it outside.
I know. So anyway, he comes back in and tries to get the phone. I can't remember why, but I said, no, I want to talk to her. This is,
Why do you want to talk to her?
I don't know. It was just a weird
gotcha.
situation.
Yeah.
So she comes in, grabs the phone out of my hand, and they storm off and leave. So this was, I don't know, let's say this is 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
So about midnight, she texts me and says, hey, I think I left my Jimmy Choo shoes there. And sure enough, I look, and there's these leopard skin looking high heel shoes in my bedroom. And
Jimmy Choo. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, pretty expensive shoes. So I said, well, I tried them on. They weren't my size, so come get them, and I'll just set them outside on the front porch.
That's funny.
And sure enough, they came and got them. But, oh, my goodness. And that was last I ever heard from her.
Thank God. You didn't want those.
So
her posse coming back to.
That was kind of a crazy first date.
That is, Okay.
That was one that I had decided to have
Marcus, let me
dinner
ask you
and
this.
plan a night.
What did we learn from this situation?
I haven't learned jack shit.
What did we learn from this situation? When a girl immediately says, hey, I have a driver, run. Don't invite her anywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe exit that situation as quickly and as safely as possible. Yeah. Don't allow someone that says, oh, I have a friend here. Can they come in to use your restroom? Say no. If they have their own vehicle, we should probably not be doing that. You know, you never know. There could be, who knows what some people could do. They could be trying to like find access to your house. Like, I mean, there's, yeah. So
in the beginning, I wasn't the smartest cookie. I made a lot of dumb mistakes, and hopefully we won't repeat those. But let me ask you this.
Okay.
More first date stories. Has anybody ever flown you somewhere on a first date?
Yes.
To meet them?
Yes.
And
I had to sign an NDA, so I can't speak about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want to hear.
I had to sign an NDA. It's a legal contract. I can't say anything. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I can tell you this. I cannot tell you the specifics of where it was, who it was, or when it was.
Well, I don't want those. I just want to hear the basic details.
Basic details. So started talking to this guy. An hour later, he was like, listen, I'm in such and such place. I know you're in such and such place. Would you be willing to, he's like, this is really random. Would you mind if I called you and we had like a phone conversation and then we could like Skype or something? I was like, sure. So he called me. An hour later, we were just like laughing the entire time. So he was like, well, do you mind if I FaceTime you? I was like, yeah, sure. We can FaceTime. 3 hours after that FaceTime conversation, he was like, okay. He was like, well, this is kind of weird. And this is definitely something that I've never done before. But would you be willing to come on a date with me tonight? And I was like, tonight? I was like, this is a weeknight. Like, I have to be at work in the morning. He was like, well, he's like, I know. And I said, I mean, it's almost noon. Like, I'm not sure. And he was like, yeah. He's like, you can just come out. He's like, he's like, I just want to take you on a date. And so, yeah. So I was like, why not? Yeah. You only live once. If I'm gonna die, I might as well be flown on a jet somewhere. And
well, obviously you didn't
out.
die. How was the date?
Actually, him and I had an arrangement for a long time.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yes, a very long time. Yeah, it was actually my very, very first arrangement.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was really amazing. He was awesome.
But it was long distance.
Yeah, for a little bit until he invited me until he got me a house.
Oh, okay.
So,
I think I know now which guy this was.
Yeah, so it was just a really interesting. It was an interesting situation. It was exciting. I have been offered that again before in the recent years. I was offered that, and I don't know. I did it once. I don't really care to do it again. It would have to be with the right person, but I don't know. I'm here for now.
So twice I have flown a first date to meet me in Vegas. Twice.
Why do you keep bringing up Vegas?
Because.
Okay.
Lots of people go to Vegas.
Lots of people.
And I was there.
All right.
And somebody I'd been talking to, we just never met. I'd talked to her on and off for about 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
And she said, hey, I'm kid-free for the weekend. How are you? And I said, I'm in Vegas. And she says, what time is my flight? It was on a Friday night. I said, well, there's one leaving at 9:30. She said, all right, I'll be on it. And I bought her a ticket.
Oh, wow.
And she came to Vegas and met me.
Oh, you guys had a fun time.
Yes. We ended up going to Vegas a couple more times.
Oh.
And she has provided some of the most interesting Vegas stories
Good.
you can imagine. She met a buddy of mine. He babysat her for a while.
Oh.
Yeah, her drink was Titos and soda. Lots of Titos and soda. And the more Titos and soda that she drank, the more she started accosting strangers. Just and taxi drivers, and yeah, we got into some interesting discussions.
So let's talk about that for a second. Ladies, if you're out there, don't show your ass like that. Like, don't do that. That is just, that is
sloppy drunk.
So sloppy. And I mean, someday you're going to have someone talking about you on a podcast.
So funny story about her. Actually, this wasn't funny for about an hour and a half. So I'm playing a poker tournament, and she's at the bar with a friend of mine who's quote unquote babysitting her because she's so drunk. And she's talking to this guy, just sloppy, drunk, talking, flirting, whatever. So I walk up, and this guy's looking at me. He goes, "Do you know this girl?" I said, "She's all yours, buddy." Anyway,
my gosh.
He left, and so it was my friend, and we'll call her Nancy.
Oh, Nancy. That sounds appropriate.
Yeah,
Nancy,
so we'll call her Nancy. So my friend is taking care of Nancy. I walk up, and I have a bag, like kind of a man type satchel bag, and it had $10,000 of cash in there for a poker tournament I was going to play in, the main event at the World Series. That was my buy-in. So she is so sloppy drunk. I set the bag on the bar stool.
Oh my gosh, Marcus.
At the bar.
This is going to make me sick. Go.
And we were trying to get her in some state where I can get her to my car. So I basically carry her to my car in the parking lot. We drive across town, go to the hotel room, get checked in, go all the way up to the room. I get her in bed. She's passed out drunk. I look for my satchel. It's not there.
Wait a minute.
It's not with me.
Wait. So
I left it at the bar.
So it's not her fault.
Yeah, she distracted the hell out of me. It's 100% her fault. I'm sitting there trying to carry her out of this
Hold
casino.
on. Wait a minute. You set the bag down.
Well, yeah, because I had to wrap my arms around her so I could hold her up.
Satchel. You put the thing over you.
Well, anyway. It didn't make it back to the hotel room.
Oh my gosh.
And I had $10,000 of cash in there.
Okay, and?
So I'm freaking out. I go all the way back to the parking lot of the hotel. It's the longest elevator ride in history, going down to the parking garage. I hit every light going back to the other hotel we were at. And it seemed like it took forever. It was like Friday night. It was traffic.
Yeah.
I finally get there about an hour later, and I walk up to the bar, and the bartender kind of recognizes me. I said, "Hey, I left a satchel here. Did anybody turn it in?" And he's like, "Oh, you were with that drunk girl earlier?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "No." He looked around. He goes, "No, nobody turned anything in, and it's gone." So he goes, "Security is right over there," and he pointed at this little booth where security was. I go over there, and this guy is sitting up, and he's a little bit higher than me. Kind of, the booth is elevated, so he's sitting in this chair, and I'm kind of looking up at him, and I said, "Hey, I left like a backpack type satchel over at the bar area, and anybody turn it in?" He's like, "Well, let me check," and he's types into the computer. He's like, "No, I don't have anything." He goes, "Let me check," and he types in backpack. Nothing comes up. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I can go get more for the entry fee, but it's going to sting, right? Then finally he goes, "Well, wait, where were you at?" I said, "That bar over there." And I just pointed just across the casino. And he reaches down beside him and he pulls up my bag. He goes, Is this it?" I said, "Yeah, that's it." And I look in there and all the money was still there. 100% of the money was there.
Oh my God. You are the luckiest. That is, okay, so.
That almost ruined my whole trip, the whole weekend,
so what? So
the whole
nobody,
month.
They saw that you. I've never, I will never go to Las Vegas. I have zero desire to go to Las Vegas.
We're going to Vegas.
I don't want to go to Vegas.
It's so fun.
I don't think Vegas is my type of crowd. I really don't.
You've never been. It is what you make of it.
Yes.
And it's who you're with. The shows are amazing.
There's a lot of people.
There is a lot of people.
There's a lot of people, Marcus, and you know me, and I do not like crowds. I don't like, I'm not that type of person. I like take me to the backwoods. I don't know. Take me to a cabin. I don't know. I'll go with a serial killer or like, I'll go out there with them, but I will not go into a crowd. Like I don't like crowds.
Now, let me get straight. This girl is the sweetest, nicest, kindest girl, and she does sober. But man, when she's drunk, it's all like a completely different person.
Well, I mean, they do say that's pretty common actually. It's very common. I mean, when I get drunk, how many times do you like, you are the most annoying person I've ever met?
Right.
It's super annoying. Like I don't stop like picking on you, and I just poke.
Now I had another person I flew to Vegas a couple years ago, and we had the greatest time. Like we went to
you always have a great time.
Well, and she didn't drink at all.
Of course.
And we just saw the sights. We went to Jennifer Lopez concert. Matter of fact, it was her 50th birthday concert tour or something. She was celebrating her birthday all summer long.
Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez. And the concert was amazing. And this girl was from Chile originally.
Oh, of course. So
yeah, she spoke really good English.
Hips don't lie or whatever.
No, that's the wrong artist, but kind of. Her hips didn't lie though.
Oh my gosh, you little dirty dog.
But we did all kinds of things. We did some virtual reality rides, and we just kind of did the town. We went, got pictures taken by the sign. A lot of times when I'm in Vegas, I'm in a cold poker room trying to bluff idiots, and sometimes I'm the idiot.
I was going to say,
but with her,
there's a lot of really smart people that I got to give props to you. Like poker, I've watched it because you're constantly like watching it on the television and on the telly, and I just
on the telly.
On the telly, I don't understand the game. I don't get it. I don't know.
Well, you know what's funny? As I started playing a little bit more competitively on some of the bigger tournaments, the ones that you see on TV, back in 2007, my parents and my mother actually started getting into it and watching because her son's there, and she called me up one day and says, "You know what? When they go through the feature table and they're talking about each player and their background, these guys are really smart. Like one guy went to MIT, one guy's a lawyer, one guy's like a currency trader."
I've met some pretty dumb lawyers.
Well, but if you're not smart and you're trying to play poker against wizards, you're not going to last long.
Yeah, I was going to. So when you're playing poker, this is kind of off subject, but when you're playing poker, is it about street smarts? Like what kind of smarts are we talking?
There's a lot of math.
A lot of math.
There's
so like that movie that, God, where they count the cards.
Yeah, but that's blackjack.
Oh, okay.
Poker's different, but you still got to pay attention to the cards. There's a lot of analysis that goes. You're trying to figure out what my percentages are of catching a certain hand.
Okay.
There's a lot of psychology involved. Is this guy telling me the truth? Is he bluffing me? Is he lying to me? Does he really have it?
But that's why they wear the glasses.
A lot of times, yeah.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm. It's a simple game, but mastering it is almost impossible. But there are people that are far superior at the game than you are.
Yeah.
Or than a normal person, and they make a very good living off of that.
Yeah, I've actually met a couple like that's all they do. And
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just like, okay, well that's cool. Like I don't know. Usually it doesn't last long with them, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I like to.
But it was a nice break inviting that girl to Vegas because I'm sitting there grinding in a poker room for 12, 13, 14 hours a day, and it's absolutely exhausting because you've got to be mentally fit and on your game. Because it's like walking through a minefield. You step on a bomb, bam, you're done.
Yeah.
You're out of the tournament. And you're playing for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So that weekend happened to be some smaller tournaments, so I invited her up, and we just did a lot of touristy stuff. A lot of fun.
Have you, let me ask you this. Have you ever gone on a date with someone that found out that you love to gamble and love to play poker? Have you ever had someone be interested in the same thing or make like a really interesting bet? Or
well, I've had to drag one of my dates out of the casino because she couldn't stop.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was an addiction for her. So
really,
the only other game I really play and that I can actually win at a lot of times is blackjack because there is some skill involved, and I can count cards and kind of know where I'm at most of the times. So I'll play blackjack, and I think I was up $1,000 at the time, and she came in. That was all profit, so I just gave it to her. She went out and blew it all on the slot machines in about 10 minutes.
$1,000?
Yeah.
I would have taken that, pocketed it, and went and I don't know, used it for something.
And I know she needed money for rent.
And she just
bills.
blew it like
yeah,
that.
because she bet maximum on the slot machines, and that's the way you win the big prize.
Oh, really?
So she came back and she had those lost puppy eyes, like,
oh,
I need some more.
Oh my God!
So actually, I had won $500 or $800 more, and I said, "Look, I'm having a good night. Here, take this." And sure enough, she went out and blew all that in about 10 minutes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
When do you stop? At what point were you going to stop? So I will say, here's my gambling story. How old do you, I think it was like 18 or 21. How old do you have to be in order to get in? It's like 21.
21.
So for my 21st birthday, my mother took me to a casino, and I played the penny machines that she gave me. She gave me $100 bill.
You probably paid one penny at a time.
I did. I was like, okay, I literally lost like maybe $2 in pennies, and was like, I don't understand this. I don't get why people are so
when you win the jackpot, it pays out a whole $21.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It just like for me maybe that's why. And so I've only been in like one casino, and when I went in there, watching people sit there and just, I know that they've had to, like some of the people, what I noticed, the high people that are in like, where
the high limit area.
Yeah. Where they have the chains and whatnot, like that. I understand that. I only know that from 21. So there you go. There's that movie. So I know that happens. So I knew what that was. And that's fine. I don't care about those people. I'm like, they probably got money to whatever, But it's like the everyday people that are just kind of sitting there, and here they are. They have worked so hard during the day. Like they work so hard for this money, and they're just like, they're letting it all go away. I don't understand that, but props.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
99.9% of the people are negative.
But at the same time, though, here's the problem one thing that I've learned from my experiences in this is that you have to be willing to take a risk. And I think that is probably what is going to hold me back. And for other women out there, like we've got to find a way to be comfortable with that. So I mean, like you're not afraid to take a risk, and that's fine.
Well, and that's why I play poker mainly, because it's a game of skill, which you can actually have a long-term winning record. Yeah. If I'm playing, one of those house games like craps or roulette, there's no way you can be a long-term winner. There's no professional craps players.
Oh,
there's no professional
Which
roulette
one is
players.
that? Which one is that? That's the one where
the dice. You got the dice and then the wheel.
The dice and the wheel. Okay.
Oh, we really need to.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of the one. Remember the one where the lady blows, like Lady Luck? She blows on the dice?
Yeah, it's craps.
That's craps.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's no professional house game players, but there's thousands and thousands of professional poker players.
Yeah.
Who that's what they do all for a living, because they're good at a game. They're better at a game than the other people they're playing. They're not playing against the house. They're playing against other players.
I wish they had.
That's why I enjoy poker so much.
I wonder if they have like a poker series type thing. If they have like professional D&D, Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, good Lord.
That would be cool. I would totally enjoy that. I would love to go to one of those.
Yeah, there's chess players that are obviously much better than other chess players.
That would be cool, yeah.
Checkers and other types of board games.
We should go to a chess tournament. That would be fun. I would love that. That would be really fun.
Well, we have really gotten off track.
Yeah, we have. Okay. All right,
But I think Vegas actually is a fun date. I don't recommend it for the first date. Unless you live in that area or something.
Well, you flew that one girl out for first date.
I had, so out of the two that I flew to Vegas for first date.
Yeah.
I'm still friends with both of them. I still like both of them. One of the dates went much better than the other. I have a lot of stories from the drunk one.
Yeah, everyone has stories from somebody that's drunk. Oh my gosh. And if it was, things got hot and spicy, like you can't. there's nothing like drunk sex. I'm sorry. You just can't, it's like everyone, the bodies are loose and limber. And I mean, I wake up the next morning and I'm like, fuck, I just did some hot yoga. I don't know what's going on here, but right. I'm in pain for a couple of days after that. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. I mean, it can happen with anyone.
So what do you not like to do on a first date?
Oof. I definitely don't like somebody that immediately is asking me to go somewhere, like go to the bedroom, or I don't like that.
Just like right off the bat? Oh,
no, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. I've had it happen, and there have been some guys that, I've allowed it to happen with. When I say some, not very many. Mm-hmm. Like, I am not, like, you have dated way more people than I have. I just... like, even I would say this is like a mixture of regular dating and like SA, like sugar baby stuff. I do not like that, period. I think I don't know. I don't like feeling used. And so when they do that, it makes me feel really used. It makes me feel like I'm just a piece of meat. And I don't appreciate that.
Well, see, that's where you and I get along so well, is we do like a nice balance.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what people don't get. They're like, oh, well, you're non-monogamous, you're polyamorous, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All these titles that everyone has to label you with. And I'm just like, well, yeah, that doesn't mean that I'm just like going out and like I want to feel that. It's not just because of that. Like I have to, like I personally cannot, okay, so story. So there was this guy that I was seeing. Things were great. We were having fun. He was attractive. I really enjoyed his company. Like this was, it was an SA thing. At one point though, we started bringing in other girls, and I like that. I enjoy a female's body just as much as a man does.
They can be very beautiful.
Oh, I think women are just they're so gorgeous. They're so pretty. I definitely think they need to like tone it back. I think their egos, they need to be humbled a little bit here and there. So whether that's by force or, whatever, I don't know. But I think that girls need to try to be a little bit more humble with themselves. But anyways, so we started bringing in other girls, and it was really fun. But there was several girls that we would continue to see on the regular. And one of these girls, I could see the pain in her face. And I kept trying to talk to her about it because it bothered me. Like I could see the pain in her face. Like she was...
What do you mean?
She should not have been doing the sugar baby stuff. I don't think she should have been doing that. I don't think that she was mentally stable. I don't think that she was doing it, I think maybe for the wrong reasons. I have no idea. I really liked her. In fact, I actually ended up dating her like as an actual girlfriend for a long time.
You did?
I did. But that was like, I told her like, you don't need to be doing this. Like I'll help you find like a really good job and blah, blah, blah. So I helped her with all that. Anyways, what had happened was, and this inevitably what caused the beginning of the end with this gentleman, the pain one time, I just saw it in her face, and I actually got sick. Like I literally, it's gonna sound really gross. I literally like got sick in my mouth because I could see, like just on her face, I could see it. I could feel it. I don't know. So for me, like
I don't understand the pain you're seeing. Like she didn't want to be there. Like she was being forced to do this.
She wasn't being. It was on her own. It was her own will. But she did not, like she was doing it. Like a lot of girls
for the money only.
Yeah, for the benefits. We'll call it benefits. But I think like a lot of girls do that though. There are so many girls out there, Marcus, that do that. Like they don't really want to be doing this. They just want to. They're just trying.
They feel a little bit forced into it, trapped into it because
it's their own free will.
Sure, but then you've got the heavy load of school loans, rent, things that are coming down on you. So sometimes you feel like you're forced to do things that you don't really want to be doing.
Well, I think that, or they're just too lazy to get a job. you need to get a job, like find a job. I mean, okay, so during the pandemic, I lost my job. And you know what I did? I was not afraid. I went and applied to a gas station. Luckily, the next day, one of the other jobs came through. But I'm not above or below anyone. Like I've, you know me, I've made, close to $150,000 a year at one point. So it just like, and that was a real job. And it just like for that to stop, like it just, that was a really, really lucky year. But anyway, so it just, like I'm not afraid to, I'm not afraid to try. And it, like a lot of these girls, they just don't want to try. They just want to be taken care of. And that's what she was thinking she could handle it mentally. And that's the other thing. They get into this thinking, oh yeah, I can do this. I can definitely do this. It is so hard.
It's a mindset.
It is.
And it's tough for many
so
people.
Hard. I mean, how many times have I come to you and just been like bawling my eyes out, just being like, oh my gosh, I feel so used. I feel horrible. I feel like I can't do enough for people. I'm not, what is this? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, you felt a lot of pressure because you're trying to please too many people.
Yeah. And it just like, and then I forget about myself and I forget about the self-care. And, a lot of these girls think they can handle it. And it takes a very strong person. Like you have to build thick skin, but at the same time, like the guys are also what trigger that response because they forget that we are also human and that it is just a layer of skin that we have to put on ourselves. And so they will bash you. They will try to belittle you. They'll try to it's a power trip for them sometimes. And so for her, she was not mentally able to handle it. And I saw it and it just made me sick. Cause I mean, we tried talking to her about it, but she's stubborn.
Whatever happened to her?
Stubborn, redheaded little sweetheart. What happened to her? So I actually ended up leaving. I had to leave. I had to go to another job elsewhere. And I ended up leaving. And her and I just kind of like went our separate ways. I mean, that's what happens with all my
Do you know whatever happened to her?
Well,
personally?
I don't have any way of contacting, I don't have any social media. I'm not into any of that stuff. So I'm not too sure. Do I think about her a lot? Absolutely. The last time that I didn't hear from her directly, her mom called me and had asked me if I would be willing to like take her. She was like, she's just, kind of fallen off the wagon. And I was like, listen, I'm really not in a place. I mean, I'm not in a place or a position right now to be taking care of someone like that. I said, I myself am having to just completely reevaluate my life. And, it would be really hard and unfair for me to try to take that on for someone else because I don't have the strength. I just don't have the strength to do that.
Yeah, it's tough. I've met quite a few people that have some mental issues that they're trying to work through.
I think we all
some
have
addiction issues.
Yeah. Oh, addiction is big. Oh my God. There's so many.
There's, everybody has their own baggage.
Yeah.
And you're going to find a wide variety of that on the site. Well, you're going to find a wide variety of that anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, even just regular dating, there's so many people that have issues. And I think they're just too proud to I have anxiety, I have depression, I have a lot of issues. Yeah. So I have
we all experience those in different
and
volume, intensities.
Yeah. And I'm considered, what did they call it? They call it manic depression, but in reality, it's actually bipolar. So I am bipolar. It's not like on the extreme of oh my gosh, it's definitely I go from really high and super energetic to I crash really hard. During those times, I really, me, I try not to see anyone. I just try to I have to do self-care. Right. So that can be triggered sometimes.
Yeah,
I've met a lot of girls that have a lot of problems. Actually, they all actually tend to have, whether it be they're completely uncomfortable with themselves. There's a lot of girls out there that just need constant and I call those daddy issues.
Well, once we identify what our issues are, what a good resource is YouTube. You can type in anything that you're feeling, any emotion, whatever, and there's going to be lots of videos on that subject.
Also go to groups. Like, I don't understand why people are so afraid to go to groups, like women's group. I went to a women's group. Like, I went to it was like a 3-month like course, and I think it was every Thursday we met. And we just like talked about a lot, and we watched these videos about like different therapists and stuff. And like they had this like program set up, and like it was this process that walked us through everything. Holler to Brene Brown. She's my favorite. Love her. So I don't know. I think that people should seriously consider going to groups. Highly condone it. Or, like have a little best friend. Get on a podcast and talk about your problems. Marcus?
Right. We do have a lot of fun, and boy, sometimes we go off in areas or directions that we didn't plan on.
Oh,
like today.
That's the best. So
I think this is a good spot to wrap it up, though.
I think so.
Boy, I have
too.
so many things written down that I want to talk to, and we didn't even touch. So we're going to have a lot of fun on our next episode.
Next episode, yes.
We've got more funny stories. I didn't think it was that funny at the time. You were laughing your ass off.
Which one?
On the Pimp.
Oh, the Pimp. Oh, my God.
I still don't think this guy was the Pimp.
What else would you, come on.
He was the gay best friend.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm the gay best friend.
Well, he played the role perfectly.
You know
he
what?
had me convinced.
The next time you introduce me to a girl, I swear, I'll drop you off and be like, hey, listen, I'm gonna drive her. My gay best friend is in the car. She would like to meet you. Like, let's just see what happens there. All right, let's see how far away they run. Like, any normal person would run, but not you. Not you, Marcus. You stuck in there.
I was a little younger, a little more naive.
You were so willing. I thought for sure that was going to lead with you actually allowing the guy in your bed. That would have been great.
No, the whole situation was so uncomfortable. I was just ready for it to be over.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I would have been ready for it to be over when she immediately said there was somebody that drove her. But
so I
that's
guess
okay. I'll give you a hard time. I just care about you. I just like giving you a hard time.
And I guess that's one of the many stories which prompted me to start this show and this podcast, so we could talk about those and entertain our audience and obviously entertain you, because you hadn't heard that story before.
No, I haven't. That was funny.
I've got a few more.
I know. I bet you do. You are the best storyteller ever.
If you want to tell us your story, we'd love to hear from you. Go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. Yeah. Leave comments about the show. I want to hear your stories, and hell, we'd even like to have you as a guest. We can do it remotely or on site. So let us know. And
we already have a couple people that have been interested actually in wanting to do that.
Yes.
A couple men anyways. The women we get, but men, we would like you to join us. We would love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, we always like hearing the other sugar daddy point of views, because I'm just one person.
And don't be afraid. Like the biggest thing is sorry, I'm going off tangents here. I don't want to go back to my schoolwork. So, the biggest thing I would say for men is what's their biggest concern? Because you've had a couple guys that have already kind of said, oh, well, I don't really want to address that real quick.
Well, they want to stay anonymous.
Yeah.
Because it's still taboo.
Yes, absolutely.
And a lot of men are in high profile positions.
Yes.
So it's harder to get them in.
But even then, we also, men, whether you're monogamous, non-monogamous, it doesn't matter to us. Just because we're not exclusive doesn't mean that you don't, we want to hear everyone. So
everyone's situation is unique.
Exactly.
And
so
we want to hear all points of view.
If you have a sugar baby and you married her, we would love to hear from you. How did that happen? I mean,
and it happens a lot.
Tips, tricks, and whatever.
Right.
No, I don't want to get married, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was great. Great episode. So.
All right. Until next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
We'll see you.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.